Welcome back to the Broker Power Up podcast, the AIME podcast for strategy, stories, and insights to help you close more loans. I'm Tommy Golightly, joined by Jonathon and Haddad. How are you?
Yes, sir. Good to go. A little under the weather, but prepping for Mortgage Con around the corner here for us. So just making sure get my liquids in and try and get myself back on the right track here before we head out. But as always, excited for this.
Yeah. Oh, of course. We got a lot to go over today. We have the Broker Buzz, where we're going to dive into 4 posts this week because there were a lot of good questions that were asked in the Brokers Are Best Facebook group and discuss what's trending, what's working, and what you need to know. Then we'll go into a sales pitch training where John helps us become better salespeople. And then we will wrap things up, as always, with story time with John. But first, a fortune cookie. And this one, I'm not going to make a mess on my desk because it's already broken. I can just pull it out. Learn Chinese. A stroke of luck. A stroke of luck will bring you love. I don't know. As a married man, I don't know how I don't like to correlate luck with any of that.
This one might not be for us.
I don't.
As two happily married men, all right, you're not going to get us. Let's just put it that way.
No, a stroke of luck.
What are your thoughts? I have some thoughts on it.
Here's one. It's not it's the love of food. I was lucky because I went to brunch this past weekend. 2 weekends ago, because we got the snow this weekend. And went to the brunch place that I took you, actually. And
nice.
Got the same breakfast burrito. It was incredible. And as we were walking back to the car, Girl Scouts had shown up with their cookies, and I was like, "Yeah, I as an I'm an Eagle Scout, so I can never walk past Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts selling popcorn and cookies and not buy them." And it was also, I had the luck that I was carrying cash because I never carry cash, and so I bought a whole bunch of Girl Scout cookies, including a new one that I now love, which is the Rocky Road flavor. It's like an Oreo, but has Rocky Road flavor filling.
Now, is this a good thing?
For my waistline, no.
Yeah.
But for my love of Girl Scout cookies and the luck of them being there with a new flavor that I like, I think that's how I make this one stretch.
No, I love it. Like you said, it's finding different angles for some of these too.
Yeah.
My favorite was learn Chinese. This one's telling me I should learn Chinese.
The amount of time in the podcast booth, that's just going to be an inevitable joke because it became an internal joke just amongst me and myself, because it was just me in there with a guest and a new guest each time. So they weren't seeing them and they weren't going out yet. So no one knew the joke, but I knew the joke. So every time someone said learn Chinese, I burst out laughing. And so it looked very silly until a bunch of these have gone out and a number of people have said learn Chinese. And then the joke is hopefully shared.
No, that's why I was laughing so hard just out, because I was like, oh God, could you imagine? Dude, it's telling me I got to learn Chinese. This is hard.
What does that mean to you, that you have to learn Chinese?
You got to open up your eyes and have a different, expand your horizons and learn different cultures and languages. That's my approach.
Duolingo is on your horizon.
From the love standpoint, right? It's like a stroke of luck. I would call it luck, but I also believe in intent. So it's like you want to do something, right? And then people say, "Oh, it's lucky." It's not. It was initially an intent. There are some things that happen because of just pure chance and pure luck. Yeah. But if you're like focusing on improving yourself as a person, if you're, I've been in the gym a lot and been focusing on my health a lot more. And so, yes, part of it is luck, but the other part of it is intent. And so I think just finding my love for the small things again has been a really big deal for me. My love for the gym, again, it's a different dopamine hit. Being in very high intensity commission sales for almost 14 years now for myself, there is a lot of times where like I've just been so used to these fast dopamine hits, right? Where it's a quick close or get a credit card or get this deal done, or you have to write 40 loans a month, whatever it was. I've always been in that high energy pace since I was 20, 21 years old. And then I bartended before that. So just learning not to deal with the quick dopamine hits and finding love again in the little things is definitely what that fortune cookie speaks to me personally.
Absolutely. Well, we turned it into a good one.
Yeah. You see that?
See that?
God.
That
Look
fortune
at
is a
that.
good discussion. We're getting good at this or something.
We really are.
Let's go into the broker buzz with our first question of the week. I have a borrower who has less than 25% ownership in multiple partnership companies. Therefore, he is not considered self employed. Therefore, business returns for those companies are not needed, and we can just use K1s unless we need income for business returns. This is the same for conventional and FHA. Am I correct?
You are correct. So, yes, you just need the last 2 years K1s. It's going to be difficult with just the 1 year. The K1 would basically substitute as a W-2, but they are not considered self employed. The K1 will show how much money they made. It'll also show their ownership status. So, you are correct. That's in the guidelines in the handbook. If something else is different on there or you're getting a weird condition, let us know. We would love to assist you even further. But you seem to be on top of the guideline knowledge there.
Absolutely. And our next question scenario here FHA streamline 505,000 current balance with 6,000 in remaining buy downs funds. Servicer will net buy down funds against the payoff for 499,000 new payoff. Can I use the 505 for my streamline base loan amount?
Okay, so Tommy, I actually put this in the chat, the
Okay.
answer, and this is from the handbook. I'm actually going to text it to you as well, so you might be able to throw it into the edit. This is directly from the FHA handbook. And so, to answer your question, I know it seems like that should be able to occur, but it cannot occur on this specific on an FHA streamline. So, what you're doing for a primary residence and secondary residence, if you're doing a streamline, it's the lesser of the outstanding principal balance of the existing mortgage as of the month prior to the mortgage disbursement. So, plus interest due on the existing mortgage. So that 1 month of interest you would add. Any late charges you can add. Any escrow shortages you can add. And then MIP due on the existing mortgage or the original principal balance of the existing mortgage, less any UFMIP refund. So to answer your question, the lesser of the two here for you is going to be the way that they net funded the payoff. So it's the lesser of the 505 or the outstanding principal balance plus all the other things that I just talked about in there. So in this case here, the lesser of those two would be your 498, I think they said, loan amount,
499.
as 499 loan amount, as opposed to your
505.
505, and that's directly from the handbook. We'll put a snapshot
Yep.
in the chat so you can see it for yourself. And Tommy, for reference, it's on page 456 of the FHA handbook that was released back in November 26, 2025.
Awesome. Cool. Yeah, we'll get that up there. And our next question borrower has a hard money loan, fix and flip price plus remodeling budget that they use to buy a property and are still working on the remodeling. Is there a way to get them a refinance since that interest they are paying is 12 plus percent? If someone knows any lender who can refinance this, let me know. Thank you in advance.
So if they qualify, you can do a home style renovation loan on this product, believe it or not. So you can go regular conventional on this. And there's a couple of rules and parameters that you have to take into consideration. But basically, as long as there's the whole, it's not just a complete teardown and there's like the foundation or a wall that's still up, you actually can refinance this into a standard renovation loan. And many different lenders do that. Just go double check which ones have the home style renovation loan. Many of them do. It's pretty easy to go find it. You can check out our AIME portal as well. The portal will walk you through the different guidelines, the different products that our AIME approved lenders are a part of.
Absolutely. And our last question of the week. Fellow brokers and LOs, how do you handle the daily onslaught of emails from all the lenders? Do you delete as they come in daily? Do you filter them into one folder? Do you unsubscribe? I am trying to figure out the best way to not have 35 emails a day that I need to delete. What are your best practices?
So, y'all, this is how I wrote a lot of weird loans, just to be transparent with the group, because you don't know what you need until it just crosses your desk every once in a while. Now, does that mean a majority of them aren't just like, here, check out our rates, check this? Of course they are. And I understand that. So I do like to move them into separate folders. I'm a little particular, right? With like my top lenders that I use, they'll generally have their own folders, but a bunch of the other, like we're signed up with like 86 lenders or so, a bunch of the other ones I have just one designated folder, and then I'm probably in there. I wouldn't say once a day anymore. I was in there a lot more, but I would say every other day I'm at least skimming through them. And again, the skim through is so fast. I can tell what I'm looking for. Any weird products, things I'm not familiar with, is usually what will catch my eye. But I mean, you're talking maybe 5 to 10 minutes, maybe 5 to 10 minutes of your time. And if you allocate it every day, you could easily get it done in 5 minutes or so. But just right before you check out for the night, or first thing in the morning, and then just check them again the next morning. That just make it part of your routine is really easy. But you'd be surprised how many weird one offs that pop up later that you go, oh wait, I think I saw an email on that, and then sure enough, you go back and look and you have it. So that's how I leverage it. That's how I still do it to this day.
Yeah, and I really like I like the thought that they had about the folder, and so you can have them all go to a folder, and then have that time in your calendar where you have that 10 minutes set aside to go through them, so you know exactly where to go. You're not losing time filtering through trying to find them all. They're all in one consolidated place. And then my other suggestion is to go in and whitelist no reply at aimgroup.com so you don't miss any AIM group emails, because I know we're talking about lender emails, but while we're here, plug for AIM emails and our newsletter and all the other stuff that we send about webinars and stuff. You don't want to, miss John's webinar on the 6th. We're going to send out an email. Make sure you get it.
It's
So
coming in hot.
it's coming in hot. I'm very excited for it. The webinars they're doing well. I don't want to toot our own horn too much, but
We're on fire.
or
Hey, let's
something
not
you like
jinx
'em.
us. Let's not jinx us.
I'm knocking on wood. But yeah, if you want your question answered, be sure to use hashtag broker power up, or every week in the Brokers Are Best Facebook group, I'm going to be posting a Marketing Monday post. So you can come and say hi to me there, ask your questions for the Broker Power Up there, or any marketing or podcasting questions you might have that you want to do on your own and need some professional help or advice. Feel free to comment or shoot me a DM, and I'd be happy to help you. If you are not an AIM member, check out the ad we're about to run, and we'll be right back with some sales pitch training.
Are you a wholesale mortgage professional? Well, then the very first thing you need is a community to help you and your business grow. With AIM membership, your community is right here. Joining our community means never navigating the market alone or operating without a safety net ever again. We are 16,000 members strong of united wholesale professionals. From rookies to top-ranking originators, all dedicated to supporting each other's success so we can grow together. Beyond entry to the best community in the mortgage industry, AIM membership gives you the resources, tools, guidance, discounts, services, and support that help you and your wholesale business grow, thrive, and most importantly, close more loans. AIM membership connects you with leading wholesale lenders and vendors, offering you exclusive access, services, and discounts that save you more money while helping you make more money. Never get stuck on a loan again with our lender escalation program. Grow your network and skills with the wholesale industry's best conferences and networking events. Get the strategies and skills of top originators and industry innovators with AIM's cutting-edge wholesale mortgage education, resources, and content. AIM offers all of this and more, starting at a low price of $19.99 a month. You heard it here first, couple cups of Starbucks coffee. For you to learn more and get started, all you have to do is visit aimgroup.com, AIME group.com /membership. Your community is waiting.
And I'm waiting to become a better salesperson. John, what do you got?
So today it's the power of leveraging assumptive words. There's a lot of times where I will listen to phone calls, be on calls myself, pay attention to what I'm saying, what the client's saying. And a lot of your sale has to do with the words that you use, your ability to ask questions, and your ability to listen and control a conversation. So when it comes to assumptive words, they reduce the friction of the transaction. A lot of people think they cause friction. They don't. When people are being sold something, they want clarity. Just like you, right? If you're on the market to buy something, and in this case, they're looking to buy a house, looking to refinance, whatever the case might be, do you want somebody that seems skeptical or doesn't seem very confident? Or do you want somebody that's giving you the clarity that you need in order for you to make this big financial decision for you and your family?
Them.
So, words like when, as we move forward, here are the next steps in the process that shift the conversations from, well, if we do this to when we do this.
That yeah.
And so, go ahead. What do you got on that?
No, just if and when. If is uncertainty, and when is just a question.
That's it. And again, you're painting the picture for them. Well, I don't want to be too pushy. I am so sick of that phrase. I don't know how else to
Almost like
just
let them tell you you're being assumptive when you say when. Like, let them say if. You
that
start with the when, and then let them change it to an if, and then that tells you where they're at in their head.
and that's exactly it. But don't change the way you're speaking because you're potentially fearful you're being too pushy. This is about being assumptive, not being too pushy. So I like to use words like when. Well, if we decide to do this, hey, when we move forward on this loan, the next steps are to order an appraisal. That's the way that you need to speak to clients at any given time. The next piece of it is number two, they position you as the guide. I am the expert guiding you through this journey. And I use these analogies all the time, doctors, attorneys, because we make there's many people out there, myself included, that do very well in this space. And we make as much, if not more, money than doctors and attorneys. So, yes, I'm always going to correlate it to those kind of professions. That's how I treat myself. That's how I carry myself. But could you imagine going into a doctor's office and they say things like, "Hey, if you take this pill, it might help you."
What do you mean might?
What are you talking about, doc?
What
Like,
might
what are
it do otherwise?
I'm sorry. Well, yeah, exactly my point, Tommy. Now, it sounds funny when we say it that way, but
Yeah,
I want you to truly envision that.
it's two professionals that you're communicating with. One's the biggest financial decision you're gonna make in your life, probably. So, like, why would you not give that the respect that you would the doctor giving you pills to make you feel better?
And even further, it doesn't need to just be doctor or attorney. Like we were joking around talking about ice. It's snowing like crazy where in Jersey where you're at, in Michigan where I'm at, and it's just been so cold. But like imagine someone comes to do your driveway and help you out, and they're like, "Well, if we put salt down, it might melt the snow, might melt the ice." What do you mean
Great.
it might melt it? Why would I pay for it?
Yeah.
Is it going to melt it or not? Like, what are you talking about right now? You're upcharging me $20 to do this. So it doesn't matter the profession; those assumptiveness are such an important piece of the battle. Then the last piece of it is this is where the science kicks in. It actually creates momentum without pressure. So instead of focusing on a close, you're just naturally advancing the process in terms of how you speak. So think about it like this: if the entire phone call you're using, what's next, and here's what most of my clients do, and the next step in this process is, and then you go and ask for a close, they've already been anticipating it because of the way you speak. But if the entire phone call you're saying things like, well, this could be good for you, or I think your family's going to like it, and then you go for a close and rip off the band-aid, yo, that's more pressure than it is momentum because they're going to sit there and go, hold on, you haven't been pushy this entire call, you haven't been aggressive this, and now you're asking me for the business. I'm telling y'all, there's a lot of science to it. If that's how you speak naturally, and that's how you guide them through the conversation, you're building momentum. And so when you ask for the close and you ask for the business, it becomes a less awkward simply because of the way that you navigate yourself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give y'all 10 specific assumptive phrases. Tommy, I'm going to send it to you in the chat and you can post it on our screen here. But I'm gonna just read a couple of them. Oh, that only gave you 7, I think.
Yep.
All right, I'm going to give you the other 3. All right, so I'm going to read a couple of these, y'all. These are assumptive phrases that you can use. So when we close, you'll have flexibility with your payment. When we close, you will have flexibility with your payment. Next step. The next step is getting the appraisal ordered. As we move forward, I'll lock this in for you. So these are just key phrases you can use. When, next step, as we move forward, once this is approved, after closing, we'll moving into settlement at settlement before we finalize on your closing date. Those are 10 different tactics you can use throughout an entire first phone call. My challenge to each and every single one of you is on your next call, how many of these 10 can you use? Can you use all 10? Can you use just 3? But John, I don't know where to sprinkle in. Good. That's where the practice comes into play, my friends. Good. Start practicing. Hey, once this is approved, here's what happens next. In order for me to get this finalized, I just need a couple of documents from you. Do you have access to your W-2 and your pay stub? Wonderful. You'll upload it to my secure portal. Is there any reason why I can't get that back within 24 hours or less? I have an underwriting appointment scheduled for you tomorrow at X time. Y'all, you can do this. You have the skills. We will give you those 10 different phrases that you can leverage. See if you can add them into your own sales repertoire, my friends.
I feel like what I would do with that challenge is write all of them out on a piece of paper, and then as I'm going through a conversation, just strike them out and see how many I can get.
So we used to do that back. I had my team every morning. They'd come in and I'd have a word of the day or a phrase that they had to use in their calls. And so then what they had to do is send me call clips of them leveraging that phrase. And if they did, I'd give them like a gift card or whatever it was, like Amazon, whoever used it the most. They started getting ridiculous. So we had to, I mean, we would do like tiddlywinks, I would have in there, and just phrases that aren't used as common. But that's the fun that you could have once you build the confidence.
The gamification of it. Yeah.
That's it. That's it. But that's the tip.
Cool. All right. And since, Austin is coming in September, we got Fuse. We haven't made the new Fuse ad yet. So I'm just going to talk about it for a sec here and say that you should go sign up, get on the wait list. So when we release tickets, you can, because that's where we're at in the year. We haven't announced ticket sales yet, but there is a wait list. If you go to aimgroup.com, go to our event section, there is a wait list page that you can join and be the first to know the second we do put them on sale with more details. And of course, follow AIME socials for any current news. Story time. John, what do you
got? Excuse me. A little under the weather still. So I have a few thoughts on my mind, whether it's story related or just a conversation amongst ourselves. Sales can truly change your life, and doesn't have to just do with mortgages. I've talked to Tommy, you about this so many different times as well. It doesn't matter what field you're in. Becoming a great salesperson just means you're a very effective communicator. I truly believe that. And there isn't one job that I can think of, and I'm sure there are a couple, some of you will probably tell me, but there aren't jobs I can think of to where being a better salesperson doesn't help you effectively grow within that job. Whether you're in marketing, whether you're in IT, whether you're on the ground floor, whether you work in a car factory, it doesn't matter. You learn to become a great communicator, and you have the chance to change the trajectory of where you want to go. And that simply gives you the chance to talk to people in a different way and to assess people a certain way and to know how to take a conversation, how to control a conversation. That's what life is partly about, especially for those of us that are continuing to grow in our respective careers. So ask yourself, how effective of a communicator am I? And then ask yourself, is there a chance for me to get better at this? The answer is always yes. So have the confidence to pick up that book. And I'm not saying for those of us out there that maybe you're not talking to people every day, I'm not saying entrench yourself and read every single book you possibly can. What I am saying is learn when a conversation is being controlled by either you or the other person. So this is a challenge I have for all of you is your next conversation. regardless of how big or small that conversation might be. Think about this. I hope you hear my voice in the back of your head and you ask yourself this question: who's controlling this conversation right now? Me or the other person? You would be surprised how often you're just going through the motions. And now I'm a very internal person. I am constantly assessing myself. My brain's always on. Now, not everybody is that way. There's a lot of people that are, whether you have anxiety, whatever the case might be. So it might pop up differently in your head than it does the next person. But I'm telling you right now, if you challenge yourself in every conversation to ask yourself who's controlling this conversation, you will start to think a different way. You'll start to ask different questions. Now, I don't recommend trying this to your spouse if you guys are in an argument. Okay,
That was going to be the first thing out of my mouth.
I saw your face. I saw your face. All right, that's why I was like, this guy's thinking of something, and
Yep.
I assumed it might be that. It's all about timing. I'm not doing this every second with my wife, but you know who I am doing it with a lot more now? Time my kids. My kids are like
That's
2.5.
fair. That's
And
fair.
I'm just like, what are you trying right now at 2.5?
And how often is the 2.5-year-old controlling the conversation, John?
More than you would think, Tom. No, does that more than you
All
would
these
think.
years of practice and training, and a 2.5-year-old has you.
Just crushing me right now because logic goes out the door. But yo, you get my point. Like, you have to have fun with it. Be cognizant of it. And if you want, even with your spouse, tell them about it.
Yeah.
And I do with
Oh,
my
if you
wife
cue
all the
them
time.
into it, sure. Yeah.
I do with my wife all the time. And again, it's not a bad thing. It's just so you understand what communication is about. Constant communication is a constant swap of control of the conversation. That's how you know you're having an effective conversation. Am I able to go back and forth with this person, or are they too hard-headed to where there is no compromise here? Is it just their way or the highway? I'm telling you, you will start to understand people so quickly. And why is that important? Well, for me, it's important because I need to be as effective with my time as possible. So I can assess right away if I'm going into a conversation, if it's going to be a difficult conversation that I need to compromise on, I'm going to pull out very quickly if this is a person willing to compromise. And if they're truly not, I'm out. No problem at all. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. It doesn't seem like you and I are going to be a good fit for each other, and that's not a bad thing at all. I just, at this point in time, I believe we're just going to go our separate ways when it comes to our professional business relationship. Y'all, that's what this stuff helps you do. So my challenge to all of you is that ask yourself that question. If you want to have some fun, tell your significant other about it as well. And then both of you try to do it. Don't do it while you're arguing. It leads nowhere. Okay. You're not using it to be petty. You're not using it to be resentful. You're not using it to manipulate the mind. You're literally using it to help train your brain to think differently, to ask more questions, and to do what is most important in every conversation, which is what? To move it forward. No one goes into a conversation going, I can't wait to have this move back 2 days.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
No, you go in excited to press a conversation forward. Even if you're not excited and you're nervous about the conversation, you still can't tell me you don't want to press it forward. So what do you have to do that? You have to think differently, ask different questions. That's one of the questions that you should ask. And that's my story for today.
Absolutely. And I have had quite a twisty turvy career path. Done a lot of jobs, done sales, done restaurants, I was a project manager in a tech company. The only transferable skill that was a path through every single job I've had is communication and how you communicate with others. It is the only skill that translates through every single job I've had and has helped me through my career. And I can't, so it is, if you are going to practice one thing and make 2026 the year you get better at one skill, make it communication.
100%. Thank you, brother.
Thank you. And thank you, listener, for tuning in to this episode of The Brokers Are Best. This episode of the Broker Power Up podcast. If you found today's tips helpful, do us a favor. Hit the like button to let us know you enjoyed it, which helps even more people see this content. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Ring the bell to get notified every time we drop new content. Share this video with a fellow broker who could use a power up. And remember to lead by example, to lift each other up, to grow together, and most importantly, close more loans. Until next time, keep powering up.